So we have seen round, trunk, floor, ceiling. These are the various mathematical options that are available. You can, okay. There are various options available. There are various other functions available, but these are the frequently used mathematical functions when you work around. Now we have like another function like mod. We'll see how we can incorporate it. See, whenever you want to check for a number whether it is divisible by two or not, we use this function. This is just to let you know like there are various other options available. If I have a number like simply say 10 and I'm dividing it by 2, so if this number is divisible by 2, you will get the remainder, that is 0. If it is divisible by 2, then you will get the remainder as 0. If the number is not divisible by 2, like if I give 3, if this is not divisible by 3, it will give you the quotient. Okay, it will give you the quotient instead of remainder. There are other various other functions that you know work around that comes around.
क्या अगर ना क्या रहेगा
Okay, so there are various other functions that we work around apart from round, trunk, floor. And if you see, like there are other functions associated with round. If you explore, like we have round up, round down, and there are other functions available. And instead of one, I mean, number digits, you can round up. Like if you have a value more than 2 digits, you can round up as per your requirement. So these were the various functions. Now we will use one very important function this in Excel to tell you to give you an example. Like I'm talking about SUMIF. SUMIF is very extensively used in many organizations. Believe me. Like if you want to add few numbers based on a criteria, if you want to add like I want to add the salaries which are equal to 4,000 only. I want to know who are the employees who are getting 4,000 salaries. All those salaries should be added, summed up, because the function says summed up if the value is what you're giving. So I just wanted to apply that. Okay, let me change this also to 4,000. So now I have this value, I have this value, which is equivalent to 4,000. Now if I apply SUMIF and add those numbers, see how we can incorporate. Start your function, SUMIF. Now it is asking me where is your range. Here is my range. Start from here and until here. Okay. Now what is your criteria? My criteria is wherever you find 4,000, add that value. Now keep on adding until you know you end up your range. Wherever it finds 4,000, it will add. Here we have 4,000. Here we have 4,000. So I should get 8,000 when I execute this function. Okay. The moment I update the number, it should reflect here also. Instead of 8, it will say 12,000. Okay. So this is how SUMIF works. Now on top of it, we have another function with the extension of criteria, some ifs. If you have multiple criteria and you want to add number based on multiple criteria, for example, like if department number is 20 and job is say uh, analyst. Okay, if you find any employee who's working in department 20 and whose job is analyst, add those salaries of employees who belong to this group, So I have multiple criterias, multiple ranges. So let us see. Sum ifs. Now it is asking me which range you would like to sum. Here is the range. It is asking for criteria range 1. Now my first criteria range 1 is this one. I want to check for department 20. So this is my criteria range 1. Okay, inside this department numbers, I'm looking out for department 20. So my criteria 1 is department 20. So it will check this department 20 in the entire criteria range. Okay, this is my first condition. Now I can add on, keep on adding, criteria ranges. Now my second criteria is the job should be analyst. I'm selecting the entire criteria range, and my criteria is the job should be analyst. Now what will happen if I execute? Now it will check for those employees who are working in department 20 and whose job is analyst. They will add all the salaries of those employees only. Wow. In department 20, we don't have analyst. In department 20, we don't have analyst. In department 20, no analyst. Department 20, no analyst. What if I change department number here, 20, if I change 20, see the values? For this, it is like 4,300, department 20 and analyst, and department 20 analyst, 4,000 and 3,100, 4,300 and 3,100 USD. So always remember, if you have multiple criteria, if you have multiple ranges, you can always use SUMIF. Like if company wants to know, like they want to come up, if they have come up with any scheme with multiple criteria, multiple options, they can make use of SUMIFs and they can perform. So it's very simple. Some if will work on only one particular value in the entire range, and some ifs will work on multiple values, multiple ranges in different columns, and it will end up only with the sum that you want to add on. This is how it works. So, so this is how it works. Okay, perfect. So now we have seen some ifs, mod, and all the mathematical functions. If you have any questions in the middle, you can always ask. You can raise your hand and you can ask. So there are other statistical functions. There are other statistical functions. The most commonly used functions are like count, max, min. So not to confuse you, I'll give you an overview of these functions, and you can make use of this function. Let me see this file. After our session, I'll share this file with you. So we have seen how to perform SUMIF and SUMIFs. Okay, it will give you only one value. It will add all the values, and it will give you only one value. The total, the summation of all the values. Now, these columns and proceed further. Okay, I want to make use of various other statistical functions that we have. Begin with, like, I want to count the total number of employees. I want to count the total number of employees. Okay, so here we have a function, count function. So here, if I type count, it is asking me for value 1, value 2, value 3. Simply if you say like 12, 12, 12, it will count all these values and it will give you. You have given 3 values irrespective of the number that is you give inside. It is counting the number of values that you give. Or if you simply say count and give a range like from here to here, okay, it will count the total number of values, okay, and it will give you. So No, what happened actually? Tell me. I said it will count the total number of values, but these are like text-based, values. There are no actually numerical values. Sorry, there is no numerical value to count. So it says zero. I guess when we count numerical value, we should here it is. Okay, it will give you a proper count. Got it? So count will give you count only numerical values. We have another function associated with count A. Now it is asking for values. Again, if I simply select the various values associated, it is showing me 10. But in case, just in case, if I add, see the difference. Numerical values, it won't consider character based. If I simply say count and give the range, it is counting only the numerical values, and it is excluding the character or numbers that are treated as characters. Instead, if I like this also, now this is a character inside, though even though it looks like number, but this is not number. Always remember, numbers will be on the right hand side, and characters of text-based value will be from sorry, numbers will be from right-hand side, and characters and text-based values will be from left-hand side. So this is not considering 10 as a number. It is considering this as a text. So if you use count, it will simply count the numbers, not text. But if you use count A, it will count it will count the mm, character-based data also. If you have nothing over here, see, I deleted one number, so it is not considering even the blank spaces. And count A also, it will consider only the numbers and text, but not blanks. Let me use blank. And blank. Let's see what happens. It is to know like how many blanks are there in your working. If you use count black, it will show you like inside this thing there was only one field that was left blank. So as per your working, you can always try with with the various available functions, and you can keep on checking. So as per your working, you can make use of these functions, and you can proceed further. So similarly, we have average and average A. Let's see, next page. If I want to perform average, uh, okay, number is a number, irrespective of what factor you have. See, average of this range, it's showing 20 as the average. 20 as the average. We have average A as another function. Now, see the Now, see this average A is like count A. It considers, apart from numbers, it considers the text that we incorporate. The numbers that are considered as text, which was not considered here. It is considering, and it is taking the average, and it is inputting that number as well. So you can understand by letter A. If you have A along with the function name like count A, average A, it will consider the numbers that are text, oriented. Sometimes the format may be of text. It happens when you import data from some other source. So a few numbers would be considered as text. You can make use of these functions. What we have: count, max a, min a. Max will display the highest number from a given range. Max will display the highest number from a given range. 5,000 is the highest number that is given from a given range. Returns the largest value in a set of values, ignores logical values and text, the regular max one. If I use A, it says return the largest value in a set of values, does not ignore logical values and text. Okay, so now I don't have any logical values or text, but still it will be 5,000. Just in case, if I give 6,000, it's showing on either side. But if I make the 6,000 as a text value, just like giving, adding different perspective. Now, the logical values, it says logical values. Okay. Mhm. Change the format instead of number. If you change the format to text, okay, it is considering 6,000, even though we consider 6. But it was considering only numbers. I don't know why it is considering the 6,000 in max as well. But actually, this is the logic. This is the logic. Okay, it will consider the numbers. Max will consider the numbers, and max A will consider the logical and text values as well. Similar case goes with minimum and min A. See, sometimes user enters the data, or you get the data imported from other sources, so it is quite difficult to understand. It is quite difficult to do the changes, even though we don't do any changes in the data, but we can at least make use of functions, and we can get the appropriate data out of it. It is not considering, it is considering zero. I don't know. Here is the difference. Okay, min will simply give you the different, the lowest value available, and min A, the returns the smallest value in a set of values, does not ignore logical and text values. It says, I don't know whether we incorporated any other settings over here, but this is how it goes. Even though we don't frequently use min A, average A, but I just wanted to let you know this is how. Maybe we're not giving we are not giving the appropriate logical or text-based values, but this is how it works. This is how it works. Okay, let's move forward. But understand this concept, and you can try and you can explore these things. See, whenever you get hurdles, you can always go for online, and you can always check. Maybe the example that I'm showing, it may not be suitable here, but this is how it works. Okay, we have seen max, average, and all statistical functions. We have text functions. Okay, there are various text functions we use for data cleansing purposes. Many a times we use for logical analysis or data cleansing purposes. And when you have data coming out from different users, sometimes when you give access to users to enter data, for example, like if there's a form and many users enters the data, and you find a lot of hyphens, dashes, or dots, or spaces, and if you want to get it or of out of that, so you can make use of various functions. Sometimes if user is entering the data in small letters like lowercase letters, and you want to display it in uppercase, or sometimes the user is entering the data in upper, you want to display it in lowercase. Sometimes the data is like all is in lowercase, but you want it to be in a proper format. That means first first letter first letter of each word should be capital letter. So you can make use of this text functions, and you can trim, and you can make use of other functions of letters. See one by one. Now we have these things. Okay, let us go with the lower function. It's a text-based function. It works on text. Type the function name. Now I want to display this text in lowercase, small letters. So whatever you have, see in whether this was in capital, A was capital, F was capital, but it is showing you in lowercase. If you extend this data, all values will be in lowercase letters. Similarly, you have upper function. It will convert the text into uppercase. Okay. See, though it does not look good, but sometimes you need to format data as per client's need. So you can make use of these functions instead of going and manually typing. You can make use of these functions. Now already this is a proper format. That means first letter of each word is a capital letter. This is already a proper format. Change this one to show you what is a proper format. In many organizations we use proper format. Okay. It will display the first letter of each word as a capital letter and rest of the letters as small letters. Okay. See the difference. Even though I have all the letters of capitals, but when I applied lower function, it is converting entire text into lowercase. When I want to display it in uppercase, it will convert entire text into uppercase. And this is the proper format. Always remember, this is not a value, it's a function. Okay, if I copy and if I paste it here, what it will do, it will try to apply this, and it will try to work on it. Now what happened, remember, the columns before, uh, this is a different value, and this is a different. I copied this formula and I pasted here. Okay. Always remember, when you're copying a formula and you're pasting somewhere, it may not give you a proper result. To copy value, always go and right click and use paste values. It will paste a value. Why did we get salesman? Because it has considered the number of columns before this column, the number of columns where it was. Okay, so actually you got salesman because it is the number of columns from here, it will end up here, and this is the basic from over here. So when you're copying a formula, ensure that your formula is in the right format. Otherwise, it will consider those columns and it will address to that column which you applied, and it may not give a proper result. Okay, this is like lower, upper, and proper. Now we have other functions. Think that think that just customer has, I mean, each employee has their account numbers wherein their salary gets credited. Mm, okay. Mm. See, think that you have some characters in between your data, and you want to substitute that character with some other character. I don't want to see this basic number. If this is branch code, this is basic number for account, and this is some account type. Think that if the account number is in this format, I don't want to display the basic number. I want to replace. I want to replace this for this number with some other code. So I will make use of a replace function. Instead, there are hyphens in between. I want to substitute instead of hyphen, like I want to substitute hash. So I can make use of that particular function. Substitute. Okay. Now always remember substitute will substitute a character instead of your character in the text. So this is my text. It is asking which is your old text. My old text is like hyphen. Always enclose characters and double quotes. Now which text you would like to substitute? Wherever you find hyphen, you want to replace with hash. You give it hash. Now there's one optional parameter. If you want to replace this hyphen with hash in the entire cell, you simply close this. If you say no, the instance, based on the instance I want to change, like I want to change only the first instance, give 1. This is optional. If you give 1, so wherever it finds hyphen first time in the in your cell, it will replace that. So after this hyphen got replaced with substituted with hash. This this hyphen remains the same. If I give no instead of first, let us change it to second instance. Your first will remain hyphen as hyphen, and your character second hyphen will change. They say no, come on, wherever you find hyphen, just replace it with hash. Wherever it finds, it gets replaced. Okay. With that, we have a replace function also. Now this is my text. It is asking me like what you want to replace. I want to replace the basic number with some hashtags. So this is my text. My starting number is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is my starting number because first 3 are letter numbers and fourth is a character. After 4, I want to highlight. How many number of character you want to replace? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I want to replace 6 letters. What characters? What new text you want to change with? I want to change it with say hash. So you a basic number. This 6 digits got replaced with hash. This is how you work with substitute. This is how you work with replace. So these are the very frequently used, text functions. You have left and right, trim, other functions as well. I'll show you how to make left function. If I want to get only the left 3 digits from left side, how can I get that? So left. This is my text. Number of characters. I want to display only 3 digits from left side. This is how you do. Right. I want to display three 3 digits from right side. First to make it a function and then give the number of characters. Like I want to display say 5. So here it will calculate from here 1, 2, 3, and this hyphen and this 2. Okay. The number of characters that you give. This is how even the hyphen is a character. Even if it is spaced, if you find a space will also be considered and it will also be included. Okay, this is how you work. If I have space at the beginning, see the difference. If I select 3 from left side, it is calculating 1 space and 2 digits. See, I want to trim. I want to trim the spaces that I get. Okay, it removes all spaces from a text string except for single spaces between words. So if I want to apply trim function on this, it will remove the spaces and it will display them. Okay, this is how you work with left, right, and right. See, as per your requirement, you can always work and you can always get the work done. This was an overview about various functions. There are so many text functions. There are so many text functions that you come across. There are so many text functions that you come across. All right. I think that you have first name, you have last name, first name is something in Farhan, and last name is Farhan. If I want to concatenate these two, I can make use of a concatenate function and I can concatenate these two texts. Simply note the difference. If I simply keep on adding this values, there's no space in between. So it will simply add these two words. There's no space. But if I want to add a space, you include one more after this comma. You include like hyphen, or you just include a space. Now we have 3 values actually. This is one cell. There's a space between, and there's another cell. This is how it works. Okay, so you can make use of concatenate function as well. Okay, these are the frequently used functions. What is it? We have seen absolute reference whenever we want to make use of, whenever we want to freeze the cells. We have seen while using VLOOKUP. And the relative reference is like whenever when we used VLOOKUP, whenever we were changing, this number was remaining the same, this number, and other numbers are getting changed.